42. Pro sports are rigged. Before I get into this decode, I'm just going to let you know I just set up a Patreon account where I'm going to offer information and decode on who's going to win future championships. I've been winning a lot of money recently. I'm having a lot of people messaging me, can you give me tips? And I've been doing it. But however, I put in hours of research and I'm just giving people the gift of who's going to win. I can't guarantee I'll always get it right. I don't. But the majority of the time I do. I called the Lakers last year to win the NBA. I called the Dodgers. I've called Alabama Crimson to win the NCAAF, and they got to the final yesterday. And there's a few other things I've called, but week to week, I'm making a lot of money. I don't even need to touch my wage either over the last 2 months. But I can't promise that you'll win everything, but I will provide information and decode on who's going to win Premier League, the Champions League, the next World Cup, the NFL, the upcoming NBA season, the NHL season, the FA Cup in England. I have it all. I have the decode, and I will provide videos on my Patreon for you to watch to show you how strong this decode is. It's just going to be $5 a month. It's well worth it. It's like the equivalent of a coffee. You'll also learn how to decode this scripted matrix that we're living in, so you won't be manipulated as easily, and at the same time make a nice little profit. So 42, important gematria values. So the words Jesuit and Freemason equal 42. And I've said multiple times, it's the Jesuits and the Freemasons who run professional sports. So in 2020 in the NHL, National Hockey League, Tampa Bay Lightning, they won 4-2 against the Stars. Notice how NHL, again, is an abbreviation of 3 words, as is TBL, Tampa Bay Lightning. They won 4-2. I've done my decode who's going to win the upcoming Stanley Cup final. It's a really strong decode. And I know it's all decoded by the numbers now. When they told me that it's going to be a 56-game season. 56-game season. If you've watched my previous videos, you know all about the number 56. So yeah, I'm pretty certain I've called that, and it's a really good odds. "42 pro sports are rigged." Before I get into my decode, I'm just going to let you know I set up a Patreon account. A few of my friends told me you need to do that. You're spreading all this excellent information. You're giving people tips. They're winning money. I get people texting me every day. What's your tip? What's your tip? It's like, it's nice to help people and it's nice to see them winning money. But at the same time, I put hours and hours of decoding when the majority of people just bet with their gut instinct or emotion. So I've set up this Patreon account. I've put together videos. I have decode of who's going to win the UEFA Champions League, the upcoming NHL season, NBA season, the NFL, the FA Cup, the Premier League, multiple other things. And I'm going to provide that on my Patreon. It'll just be $5 a month, which is nothing. It's like the equivalent of buying a coffee. And at the same time, you're going to learn how to decode this matrix, see through the media manipulation, and at the same time, win yourself some profit. I'm not going to make you a millionaire or a billionaire, but you will win some profit by following my picks, especially the championship ones, because some of the teams I've backed have tremendous odds where you only need to put $10 on to win a decent amount of money. If you do have a decent amount of money, like a decent amount of money, and you put $1,000 on some of these, you could be winning $10,000, $20,000. So it's well worth the $5, 5 times 12, $60 for the year. I can pretty much guarantee I will make you more than that over the year. So 42 pro sports are rigged. Before I get into the video, I'm going to discuss 2 important words that have important gematria values. So Jesuit equals 42 and Freemason equals 42. And it's the Jesuits and Freemasons that run professional sports. So in 2020 in the NHL, the National Hockey League, the Tampa Bay Lightning, they beat the Stars 4-2. Notice how NHL is an abbreviation of 3 words, as is TBL. Told you how the Masons and Jesuits love that. The Lightning win. They're from Tampa Bay. And I have an awesome decode who's going to win the NHL this year. And they have decent odds. When I found out that the upcoming NHL season was going to be a 56-game season, I was like, oh my word, this is just hilarious. I need to decode this. And I've decoded it. and it's clear as day for me who's going to win it. Outrageous, the script. So this was the first 4-2. And then the NBA, you've got the LA Lakers, again, NBA, three-worded abbreviation, LAL, three-worded abbreviation for LA Lakers. They win 4-2. And I personally thought they was going to win 4-1. I backed the Lakers to win the NBA. And I also backed them to win the NBA Finals 4-1. And I also covered them with 4-2. So when they went 3-1 up, I was like, this is too perfect. This is too perfect. They're going to win 4-1. Kobe Bryant dies at 41. In gematria, his name value is 41. But I thought, you know what? To be safe, what I'll do, I'm going to cover the Heat here. So I'll have the Heat win Game 5, because if they lose, then the Lakers have won it 4-1, which was perfect, would have won a load of money. I still did win a lot of money from backing the Lakers and getting the 4-2. But I thought 4-1. So I backed the Heat here. It goes to Game 6, and the Lakers win it 4-2. I was like, fantastic. Perfect. And here's why they won it 4-2. I think it was a sick Kobe tribute, but it was also a tribute to LeBron James. So Sunday, October the 11th, as you can see here, 10-11, is when the Lakers won the 2020 NBA championship. By the way, it was the 17th championship for the LA Lakers, and it was LeBron James's 17th NBA season. So you've got a couple of 17s there, and I've discussed 17-17 with the Grand Lodge, the Masonic Lodge that was established in 1717. They run all professional sports. And the Lakers win it on Father Daughter Day, which is celebrated in the United States. Kobe and his daughter Gianna died on the same day, in the same year that the Lakers win the NBA. So the fact that the Lakers wrap it up in Game 6, 4-2, on National Father-Daughter Day is disgusting to me. LeBron James equals 42 in full reduction. 42 is a reversal of Kobe's famous 24 jersey that he wore for the Lakers. It's just outrageous, to be honest. And the Lakers, I have so much confidence that they're going to win it again and go back-to-back. Yesterday, I backed the Lakers to win and the Clippers to lose because I looked at their records, and the Lakers won. So they're now 4-2, which was a nice LeBron tribute. And the Clippers lost to Utah Jazz, which was a shock. And I backed the Utah Jazz to beat them because I like both LA teams going to 4-2. And that's what happened. And remember, Jesuit equals 42 and Freemason equals 42. So this is the type of decode I do that wins me a lot of money. Today, I backed Palace and Spurs, and people just say, oh, well, they were the favourites. It's like, yeah, the favourites always win, don't they? Spurs winning 3-0. Harry Kane just had his third child. They just have to talk about that number 3 all the time. Sheffield United, that them losing today means they haven't won in the Premier League in 17 games. Again, you learn these numbers, you see through it all, and it becomes nice and easy. But I can't guarantee everything that I do is correct. It doesn't work like that. There's usually double decode, but again, you've got to see the decode, the numbers, the narrative, and you can figure it out from there. And that's why I'm doing really well. Major League Baseball was won by the LA Dodgers, again, MLB, LAD. It's just a joke, these 3-worded abbreviations. They won 4-2, and they beat the Tampa Bay Rays. So you've got the Tampa Bay Rays from Tampa Bay, you've got the Miami Heat from Tampa Bay, Tampa, Florida, and then you've got the Tampa Bay Lightning from Tampa. WrestleMania in 2020 was supposed to be in Tampa. The upcoming Super Bowl is in Tampa. I don't know what it is about Tampa. I wouldn't be shocked if the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get there to the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. There's a reason he went there, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So, yeah, again, most people don't even see that all these Tampa teams made the final. The LA Dodgers and the Lakers, it was the first time since 1988 that the Dodgers and the Lakers won a championship in the same year. And 88 is a big number. I'll do a video on it. It's a big number connected with Donald Trump as well. So check this out, celebrity connections with why the Dodgers won 4-2. So Chadwick Boseman died the year the LA Dodgers won the World Series 4-2, and he played Jackie Robinson in the movie 42. Jackie Robinson was famous for wearing the number 42 jersey for the LA Dodgers. Chadwick Boseman played the Black Panther, and Jackie Robinson was a member of the group called the Black Panthers, who was trying to basically push for racial justice and racial equality. The connections are outrageous. And then you got Chadwick Boseman playing him in the movie 42. LA Dodgers won the World Series on the anniversary of Jackie Robinson's death. Again, you couldn't script it any better. Google says that Chadwick Boseman died at 41 like Kobe, but Google originally said he died at 42. Then they changed it. And there's been multiple examples of people's date of birth changing and death dates changing on Google. There's many, and I have the evidence because I take screenshots. So you've got Chadwick Boseman, who actually died at 42, and he played Jackie Robinson in the movie 42. Jackie Robinson wore the jersey, number 42. And the LA Dodgers win the World Series 4-2 on the anniversary of Jackie Robinson's funeral. The score in Game 6 was 1-3, like 13, and LA equals 13 in Gematria. 41 is the 13th prime, and LA Lakers legend Kobe Bryant died at 41. Man, what a script. What an absolute script. So, look here, this is Chadwick Boseman. He doesn't look too happy. He probably knows his fate. Here in the background is where he's playing Jackie Robinson in the movie 42. And then the year he dies, the LA Dodgers win the World Series, their first since 1988, 4-2. Actor Chadwick Boseman rushed to emergency room in a wheelchair. So this is a screenshot I have. Over the weekend, Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman, 42, was rushed to the emergency room at the Santa Monica Medical Center by his fiancée. So he lived in LA as well. Obviously, being a Hollywood actor, you'd expect that. But they don't all live in LA, these Hollywood actors. As a nurse pushed him, well, not a nurse, a Jesuit puppet actor, pushed him into the hospital in a wheelchair, he was wearing a black face mask and hoodie covered in a white blanket. We can see that in the image. You know what I mean? You don't need to tell us. Here he is wearing a nice 42 hat. Again, there's a lot to this number 42 that I can't discuss in this video because YouTube might remove me, but there's a lot to that number, especially in regards to African Americans. And then here he is playing the role as the Black Panther. And I know a lot of kids really idolize the Black Panther. And again, we've got to be careful who our kids idolize and who we as adults idolize, because these are false gods. And a lot of them get sacrificed, just like Chadwick Boseman and Kobe. So look here, Jackie Robinson's funeral was October the 27th, 1972, which is 10/27. He wore the number 42 jersey. Look how the Dodgers win 4-2 on 10/27. It is so scripted. It's so scripted. It is a joke. And the people who still think what I'm doing is all coincidental and I'm just finding these numbers because I'm a conspiracy theorist, it's like, you really need to look in the mirror and ask yourself this question. Is Adam actually talking sense? Because he does talk a lot of sense. Yeah, I do. I put in hours of decode, okay? And I'm pretty much proving consistently what's going down. And no, it's still all coincidental. There's no way professional sports are rigged. Okay, sure. Notice how all of these championships were decided in Game 6. Game 6. Interesting. Very interesting. Dr. Evil knows what's going down. He knows what's going down, Dr. Evil. The people who run professional sports are evil. Anybody taking part in them who's aware of it, whether it's the players, the managers, the pundits, the officials, are disgraceful, disgusting human beings. And it all needs to be revealed now. It all needs to be revealed because the amount of money that they make in the Jesuit order and these players, the reason they're getting 200 grand, 100 grand a week is nothing to do with their ability. It's their acting skills. Okay, that's just as important, especially now with social media. Talk more about Paul Pogba dabbing than his actual ability on the field. And I can't be bothered with it anymore. Again, if I watch the games, it's to decode them and to win money and to do videos to prove you how scripted it all is. 2018 World Cup final, France versus Croatia, 4-2. This is the biggest game in football. And football is the biggest sport in the world, the most played game in the world, the most viewed game in the world. It finishes 4-2. France win 4-2 against Croatia. Croatia getting there was a big shock. Yeah, they have a couple of decent players. Modric, Perisic, Mandzukic, a couple of others. But again, no one really expected them to get to the final. France, yeah, they had a decent team. But again, the French players, most of them are not even French. Mbappe, Pogba, they're not French. They're African, the majority of them. But again, France is the home of the Jesuits. And it was the 21st World Cup final of all time. And at halftime, the score was 2-1 to France. Jesuit equals 21 in gematria. As I've said, France is the home of the Jesuits. You can research that. I'm not just saying these things. 21 in the Gematrinator equals 42. So again, I'll put the Gematrinator in the link in the description. Type it in and see what comes up. I'm not making these numbers up. And so it's the 21st World Cup final of all time, and it finishes 4-2. Yeah, okay. It was the first time 6 goals were scored in a World Cup final since 1966. So a nice 666 for you there. It's just horrific, the script. That was England versus West Germany. I'll discuss that. In that scripted final, which shows it goes all the way back to 1966, it's been going on for, I think, over a century. Got the 2020 Nations League, which was played last year, France versus Croatia. France beat Croatia 4-2. Again, it's just a coincidence, isn't it? 1966 World Cup final, England versus Germany, finished 4-2. I'm obviously from England. I grew up, like I said, a massive fan of England. I remember watching like Euro 96 and World Cup 98. But now it's pretty sad for me because, like I said, I was a really talented player. I loved the game. I would watch pretty much any game. I'd watch games from Germany, Spain, France, Italy. I just wanted to watch the game of football. But now I know it's all scripted. I can't do it. I can't watch it unless it's to decode it. So this game took place on Saturday, the 30th of July, 1966, and the kickoff was at 3 p.m. England won 4-2 against West Germany after extra time. AET, another one for you. The final took place in London because the World Cup was staged in England. So look at these. 4-2, look at Jeff Hurst. He got a hat-trick, by the way. And 18, reflection of that is 81. Ritual equals 81. Then you got the 102 in reverse is 201, like the Jesuit order. Here you got the 120, 0 has no value. So in reverse is 21. And then you got Helmut Haller, who scored after 12 minutes, the opening goal. Again, in reverse, it's 21. And then look at this. Wolfgang Weber scores after 90 minutes to take the game to extra time. The WW, like 33 sideways. I saw today Wolverhampton Wanderers. They drew a game 3-3. A couple of penalties in that game, an own goal. And once again, it shows you how scripted it all is and why Wolves have been doing so well recently and why Wycombe Wanderers got promoted to the Championship out of nowhere. Again, the WW got W, turn it sideways. So Wolfgang Weber makes it 2-2. We go to extra time. Jeff Hurst scores a couple of goals and England win it 4-2. So the game starts at 3 p.m. on the 30th and is played in England, and England equals 33. England's nickname is the Three Lions, as you can see on their badge. It was played in July, which is the 6th month. England won after extra time, and after extra time equals 66 in full reduction. Jeff Hurst gets a hat-trick, which is 3 goals, and Jeff Hurst is the only player to have ever scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final. The final takes place 21 years after World War II, which heavily involved England and Germany. Jesuit equals 21 and 42. It's 21 years after World War II, and the scoreline in the World Cup final finishes 4-2. Again, a nice little narrative and storyline here. These two countries that supposedly hated each other. Well, I'm sure they did, because these Jesuits scripted these wars, which many innocent people died in. 21, as I've said, equals 42. It was 21 years after World War II, which ended in 1945. And then Freemason equals 42, because the Masons and Jesuits, they run professional sports, and they have done for centuries. Also, the captain of England, when they lifted this World Cup in 1966, was number 6, Bobby Moore. Says it all, really. Yaya Toure here. I remembered he wore the number 42 jersey. I was always like, why does he wear 42? This is a first-team player. Why is he not number 8 or something like that? But he's 42. Here he is hugging Guardiola. They both have the Barcelona connection as well, the big Jesuit club. So Yaya Toure wore the number 42 jersey for Manchester City when they dominated English football. He has 4 African Player of the Year awards, which is a joint record with Samuel Eto'o, another guy who played for Barcelona, and on 2 occasions won the BBC African Footballer of the Year award. So you can see the 4-2 connection here. 4 African Player of the Year awards and 2 BBC African Footballer of the Year awards. Again, BBC, they love those 3-worded abbreviations. Kolo Touré is his brother. And remember, they get these Africans, nobody knows anything about them. I think they changed the name of them, to be honest. So Kolo Touré equals 42. He also played at Manchester City with Yaya Touré when Manchester City dominated the Premier League. Yaya equals 56. Touré equals 56. Manchester equals 56. Guardiola equals 56. He was the last coach to coach Yaya Touré in England, and he also coached him at Barcelona. Freemasons equals 56. So there you have it in this video. I'm showing you how it's all scripted. Yaya Touré, he dominated English football for about 3 or 4 years. He scored so many winning goals, late winning goals as well, and winning goals in cup finals. It's because they decided that. It's really is disgraceful. I've told you how England versus Germany in 1966 was all rigged by the numbers. It's 1966, guys. It's been going on for decades. Told you about how France winning the World Cup 4-2 in the most recent World Cup final, scripted by the numbers. How all these championships were decided in Game 6 in America in the NBA, the Major League Baseball, and the National Hockey League. Decided in Game 6. Again, we know about that number if you've been watching my videos. How the LA Dodgers won the World Series on the anniversary of Jackie Robinson's death, their most famous player. And he wore the number 42 jersey and they win 4-2. Discuss the connections with Chadwick Boseman and Kobe, which are clear as day. So there you have it. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that pro sports are rigged. If you want to join my Patreon, I can give you the decode, like I said, on upcoming championship winners. I can help you with your parlays and accumulators. I will not promise that I'm going to win every time because that's impossible, but you will definitely profit a lot more by using my decode and knowledge than just going with your gut instinct and your emotions and your common sense. So there you have it. Pro sports are rigged. There's no doubt in my mind.